Nor-sia, Australia's only Benedictine monastic town, is located a pleasant 2-hour drive northeast of Perth, West Australia's capital city. Nor-sia was founded by 2 Spanish Benedictine monks, Dom Serra and Dom Rosendo Salvado, as a mission to Aboriginals in 1847. Much of the original monastery building remains unchanged today from its earlier days. Visitors are welcome to stay in the monastery guest house to share in spiritual activities or simply to relax. Rooms are comfortable with reverse cycle air conditioning and a pleasant outdoor gardens. The bell calls the monks to prayer 7 times each day. Inside the abbey is an organ and some beautiful paintings. There is also the resting place of Abbot Salvado. In 1861, an orphanage called St Joseph's was established for Aboriginal girls and operated until the early 20th century. During the 20th century, it operated as a girls' school, with over 100 girls attending and boarding until its closure in 1974. In 1978, St. Joseph's was converted to an excellent museum and large art gallery, which operates to this day. In the 19th century, Abbot Salvado's mission was to minister to the needs of the Aboriginal community. Death and disease from European-introduced diseases reduced the population of the local Aboriginals, and consequently an orphanage was established and operated. Nor-sia boasted of an Aboriginal cricket team which traveled the state. St. Mary's was a boys' Aboriginal boarding school which operated until the early 1970s. St. Ildefonsus was a boys' boarding school operated from 1913 until its closure in 1991. St. Gertrude's was a private girls' boarding school operated from its construction in 1908 until its closure in 1991 as Salvado College and nor-sia Catholic College. St. Gertrude's also boasts of a beautiful chapel with magnificent artwork and decorations. The music room, and behind it, the graveyard. The Benedictines value their large and ancient library. With the closure of the boarding schools, the Benedictine monastery lost its traditional activity. However, since 2000, an education center has been operated. In the early days, the monks were largely self-sufficient, producing all their own goods. Here's the old flour mill and the new flour mill. Today, the monks are still involved in many commercial activities, but usually by licensing and hiring people. A good example is the bakery. The old and new police station. The sundial dating back to the 1800s is seen here on the wall. Since the mid-1800s, the monks have grown all their own food on a very large farm. Today they still own 18,000 hectares, and their farming methods have varied throughout the years. Wheat and canola are principal crops. They've given up raising pigs, but still maintain large herds of sheep. Many of today's activities are undertaken by hired employees, but the monks have been famous for the production of beers, now produced by James Squire, wines, and olive oil. Grapevines can be seen behind the monastery. The hotel, built originally to provide accommodation for visiting parents of students, is now popular with tourists. It's got a very lively bar which serves Guinness and its own Abbey beer with 7% alcohol. Fine tasting drop, actually. After a few drinks in the hotel, the river walk along the Heritage Trail is a good way to burn off energy. It takes about 2 hours and goes down to the Moor River. Thanks for joining me on this tour of Australia's only monastic community. The future is somewhat uncertain, as there are only about 12 monks left in Red. The new nor-sia deep space communication station is 8 kilometers outside town.